Hello everyone, it's me, Anthony Couch, a guitarist on YouTube. Today, talking about what I think is the greatest melody ever written. Now, I'm going to make a massive assumption here and guess that if you're watching this video and if you're subscribed to this channel, you're more on the rock and heavy metal and shred side of things when it comes to listening and playing guitar. Don't worry, I'm not turning this into a musicals channel. But I am going to analyse this piece of music today because we can take all what we're going to learn and chuck it into any genre of music, even death metal and crazy extreme metal. So we're just using this to steal ideas from. Because today I'm analysing Somewhere Over the Rainbow the melody was by Harold Arlen. And it's arguably one of the most successful melodies ever written. Definitely one of the most recorded and covered melodies and songs ever written. So I think that puts it in good stead to be analysed. You know, I was teaching this song yesterday to a student on piano, and I was listening to her play it, and I was reading the music along, and I was thinking, do you know what, this song, this melody is such a good example of showcasing my entire thoughts when it comes to writing strong, successful melodies. A lot of the time when I'm teaching, people will say, I know the scales and I've got this riff and I want to create lead melody over the top. How do I choose notes to make a melody? Well, this song is a masterclass. I'm going to get into a bit more depth. I'm actually going to change camera angle just so I can do something. So let me just switch over. Okay, now I've done this just so I can do this. Now, the standard notation is written up there. Don't worry if you can't read standard notation because I'm going to help you along every step of the way. First step, by doing this. So there you can see I've written the note names underneath. So that makes the language a lot easier. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that it doesn't just end there. Let me move over a little bit. It doesn't just end there, because to analyse melody, it is essential to analyse chords. So let me do this. So where I'm going with this is I'm going to show you the notes of the melody and how they relate to the chords at the top. So first of all, I'm going to give you a little bit of a concept. I'm just going to say that beats 1 and 3 of a bar of 4/4 music are arguably more important than others. They tend to be where chords change. So I'm going to focus on those notes. So let me do this. In green, you can see that I've highlighted all the notes that fall on beats 1 and 3. Okay, one final step before we get going. You need to know the chord tones. So, you can see above each of the red chords I've put now in a darker red, the chord tones that make up each of those chords. Okay, I've got to put my phone on my lap. Excuse me, I'm not texting or looking at other more interesting YouTube channels than this one. I'm reading the music on here. So, because I can't memorise all this. When we look at bar 1, the melody is F, F. A minim note, F to begin with, then another minim note on beat 3. They both are in the chord of F major. The notes of F major are F, A, C. You can see that there. So already in bar 1, not only is the melody highlighting the chord, it's highlighting the root note of the chord. You could even go as far as saying as that is that's the most simple thing that you could do in music. You've got an F chord, then make your melody an F. Make it more interesting by playing the octave F. What happens next? The chord changes to A minor as we hear Over the Rainbow or E, C, D, E, F. We only care about beats 1 and 3. What notes fall on 1 and 3? Well, first of all, E, then C. Is it? No, E then E again, okay. There you go, those two notes. Are they in the chord of A minor? Yeah, you can see at the top there, A, C, E. There's a pattern here. We are going to do it bar by bar, but I'm not going to go on and on about it because hopefully now it's becoming clear where I'm going with this. The next chord, B flat, D and F, and the melody is F, D. They're both on beats 1 and 3, and they are definitely from within that chord. The 3rd and the 5th, or 5th and 3rd in that order. Now look at this next bar. Falls on beat 1, a nice big semi-breve on its own. It's the note C. And it falls on an A minor chord. Well, A minor has got a C in it. Now the next bar is nice and interesting harmonically because you end up with a B flat chord followed by a B flat minor chord. And you can see the chord tones written above there. We get the note D over that B flat chord, and then a B flat over the B flat minor chord. Next up, the chords are F major and D major. Look at that A note on beat 1. Where could I play that? And then another A on the chord of D. So that melody there. So that falls on the bam, 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 ba, da. You can hear the melody as it follows each chord. It's not pushing the boat out in terms of harmony. Coming up to the second to last bar now as the chords change to G, C. Over the G chord you can see you're playing a G on beat 1. Then here we go again on a strong beat 3. That's a G over a C chord. No, it's a C, E, G. It works. Then A, which just builds tension. Talk about that in a minute. Then lands on the note F. What starts to become apparent, hopefully, when you start analysing strong, successful melodies like this, is that they rely heavily on chord tones, but not all those notes in that song were chord tones because of the notes that were in between. So if you have a chord progression or a riff and you want to create a strong vocal melody or a guitar solo, think about the chord tones being the dots, like a dot to dot, and then you can go as squiggly as you want with the line in those dots, between those dots. Make it as fun as you like. It's very standard in this. You're just going ba, da 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 da. You could go ba, diddly da da da. As long as you come back to those chord tones, those dots, and connect them, your music's going to sound coherent. Your melody is going to sound strong. So the thing to take away from this is if you stick with chord tones, you can't go wrong, but that's going to be too boring, so add in some notes in between. Ways of exercising this is to give yourself a 2-chord chord progression and just play the chord tones and then join up those chord tones with some fun stuff. Then do it on a 3-chord chord progression, then 4, then entire songs and solos and blah 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 blah. I'm starting to bore myself now. Thank you very much for watching. Little bit worried about this video because it's not talking about Paul Gilbert or Kirk Hammett or Dave Mustaine or whatever. Talking about, well, let's face it, Judy Garland made this melody famous, so hopefully I've got some fellow musical fans out there. I do love a good musical. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!